friends and family. It's a pleasure to meet you on another demo by ScandiPWA team. And again, we're greeting you here in quartet. Hopefully, such English word exists. So, I would like to start with updates from Mr. Zans. So, could you tell us more about how was the week going for you?
So PLP, PDP almost finished. I have migrated bundle products, configurable products, downloadable products, what else? Customizable products, a lot of PLP, PDP code. But then I started working on filters again. I was already worked with different components that were shared the same code, and now when I returned to these shareable components within the different page, filters broke again. Again, we have type inconsistency because parameters uh, are made dynamically, and I have to refactor types again. So PLP is almost done. Only small part is left, but still I'm working on PLP PDP this week.
Great. So it's another week on products. I just wanted to mention that John told some interesting cases where inside of the code, now when we start to type it, we realize that, well, some expressions never executed or they never had a chance to execute and stuff like this. So despite we promised to do no refactoring, we currently are placing some of these cases in to do to later, of course, get back to this code and refactor and validate how that stuff went into it. Yeah, and we're also using a lot of fallbacks inside of the code, which you might have seen, like where we are checking some value, and if it's null, then we are fallbacking to a different value, like or setting basically an or argument. And very commonly, that leads to problems when migrating to TypeScript because then types need to change every time, and we don't want that. We want types to be typed a single time. So, of course, it's quite a journey, and this is why Jans is taking so long to complete his assignment. Well, what about Mr. Aleksandrs Kondratjevs? So, how is your time going?
Yeah. Hey, so yeah, from my side, I was finished the forms, fields, field groups. There's a lot of kinds of them, and yeah, so out there stays only basically what I was doing after the forms was just going through the components. What I see, I do. That's all. I mean, there was no blockers that was like staying for a day on one component or something like that. I was just going through like whatever I see, slider, swipe delete, wish list, and basically, yeah, as you already mentioned, some deprecated code, I would say that maybe even not deprecated, like when I was making the wish list, that's for example, there was interesting thing that we have logic for getting the wish list by ID, and the ID is always zero. Like it's never any kind of number at all. And yeah, that kind of stuff. But I was not refactoring anything. Same as wish list. I see that there's a lot of
Oh well, that's an unexpected internet connection loss from Alexander. That happens sometimes. Well, as he mentioned, we have some problems inside of the code that prevents us from simply typing them. So it's always a little bit of a struggle. We are moving onwards, and Aleksandrs Kondratjevs is avoiding all of the product-related components to ensure that their changes, when both are finished, can be merged with changes from Jans. So, generally speaking, he's on the right track. Yeah, you can finish your sentence. I have just mentioned a few things that we
I
left to
mean,
say.
most likely have heard. explain what I wanted to. So, but basically, yeah, in nutshell, just going forward and just forward, no blockers. I cannot say that there's something that takes a lot of time right now. Like if getting through the forms again, somewhere I see that there's only one issue, as I can see, stays with the function on submit, and basically, but yeah, because there's a lot of things happening in sales.
Sure. Could you try to estimate maybe how much unmigrated components are left? Maybe you know some amount is like still left, so I'm planning to maybe complete them. Or remember the checkout or my account, we were blocked by forms, now we're not, so we can start doing them as well, or there are some still problems?
Yeah, basically there's between the checkout, I was already thinking to go to the checkout, but there's between the checkout and some like minor components, I would say, that there was an example on the slide. Okay, that's maybe not so minor, but anyway, you need to go through them. And like stays, most likely, as I guess right now, it is already migrated around 120 components, most likely, but we have maybe 200, as I was counting previously.
So quite a big amount left.
But they're not large. The large, the already the most where the pain is in the products right now. It was the forms, and basically most likely where we have been stuck with John. I guess that's So right now, I'm not sure what's going to be in the checkout. To be honest. I didn't check it right now, but I guess it should be better because we have the products. When we're going to be starting with the checkout already, the product is going to be finished. So it's really related to the card. What's going to be in the card holding the product? How they're going to be like in what kind of type and so on. So maybe it's going to be faster. I believe it's going to be faster than products. So yeah.
Interesting.
Estimates.
Interesting. Yeah. Risky estimates. Well, all right then, but you're still not going to card because we're still waiting for products, or or just not going because there are still other components to migrate?
Just a bit of still other components. I mean, most likely I'm gonna already start to check out this week. Yeah, I guess for sure, because there's not a lot of. At least I saw them. The company is just going through them, like to see maybe something I missed, something hard. But yeah, I believe the checkout stays the biggest one right now. The scope from like we have products, we have my account, we have basically forms are just going splitting through the components, and checkout, and yeah, most likely the checkout is the largest. I mean, the last largest component.
Understandable. All right. Yeah. Then it seems like we have to again move the roadmap, because I think last time we agreed that we will finish somewhere like around the middle of May. I think the time already passed by, so potentially would need to move the roadmap again. We will speak with the team and estimate specifically when can we definitely put the dot here, or maybe put a comma, because there are a lot of different tasks as well that we have planned. Anyhow, we have Aleksandrs Rivkinds to tell us something interesting. So could you tell us more about recent releases? Maybe anything got into alpha, maybe something got really released. So
yeah, well, last week I released an alpha version of our performance improvements, which included Varnish, PHP APC extension, and PHP op cache extension enabled by default from the first time. Anyway, also in this release I included the theme building and the installation improvements, but also I should note that the performance improvements currently have a bug on macOS with the M1 chips, or maybe just macOS in general. So I will need to probably make another release today, and it will be still in alpha because we need to confirm that it is stable for a public release.
I love your approach. That's so mature.
Yes.
Not like ScandiPWA
Yes.
just releasing.
Yes, kind of, yeah. Also, from this week, we will be working on improving our analytics error collection, because some errors should not be collected in general. Some errors are related to one thing, other thing. We can't really figure out what is happening in some cases in analytics. So we need to improve that. Also, very important, this week we'll also be working on improving database import, because sometimes, unfortunately for us, if you try to import your database dump from production to your local instance, your database might be just wiped.
That's
Great.
unfortunate.
And this is not really because of our code, but sometimes database can be broken or not really, how do I say it? Compatible with your local setup. So yeah, this can happen, and we need to improve that.
All right.
This is my tasks on this week. Yeah.
All right. Sounds like quite a plan. Good. Very good. So I think that's just me left to share some updates. And my team and I were working on building some extensions and making them public. And last week wasn't as successful, to be honest. I made two major mistakes, and they both led to two extensions not being published. I wouldn't say those are mistakes, but rather two large blockers appeared. And one of them was the layout updates, which are a very popular feature of Mage Plaza extensions. For example, the sales countdown or Instagram feed are injectable to pages throughout the layout updates. And this leads to problems because ScandiPWA never supported layout updates system. And now I'm working on a compatibility extension that implements it. And it's quite a complex extension, but it supports different page types. It supports different block references. Yet, of course, not all of them, because even ScandiPWA doesn't support all of these pages. Anyhow, we are working on it, and this prevents us from publishing multiple extensions right now. But we want to make them done and make them done great. So we are pushing some roadmaps further a little bit. And we are also working on a Clevo search right now, which is quite a complex extension. So we are slowly but steadily progressing towards its implementation. I wouldn't say there is anything much to say about the previous week, except us participating in Meet Magento Baltics. So if you are interested enough, you can go check out the published, or soon will be published, videos from there. We had quite an amazing chat with a creator of Hiva theme, or Hiva, depends on how you pronounce it. Was quite an interesting chat there. With that said, I think there is nothing more to update you on. So thank you everyone for joining in, and we will see you the next time. So bye-bye. Ciao.